Hi Legacy Builders, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen McNeely with JWM Designs, and in this video I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of building your website with WordPress or a website builder like Shopify, Wix, or Squarespace, and how to determine which platform is better for your business. In a separate video, I will do a comparison between Shopify, Squarespace, and Wix, and in particular, which platform I recommend and why. But in this video, I wanted to break down the difference between WordPress and website builders in general. You may be thinking to yourself, why do I need to decide this question now? Well, for most of you watching this video, I know that I don't need to sell you on the idea of having a website for your business. But there are some of you who think that websites are unnecessary and all you need is your social media accounts and you're just fine. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you for several reasons. First, as I mentioned in a prior video, everyone is not on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok. And if you want to expand your audience and grow your business, you need to look beyond those platforms. Additionally, those platforms have the ability to control your audience and the content that they see based on their own community standards and guidelines. Moreover, you're building a brand and you need a hub to send your audience to that is completely controlled by you in every way and that allows you to build a personal connection with your audience that no one can take away from you should the social media platform lose popularity or those platforms limit your exposure. Anyone remember Vine? Also, if you live in the United States, there's a rumor that TikTok may be banned in the US, so that's another one that you've got to think about. Now that we've covered why you should have a website, I thought this video would be helpful to many of you who are looking to build your website for your business. Now, before you spend any money on a website developer or signing up with a plan with a website builder, you should weigh your options to determine which route really fits your business. Because it can be difficult and quite costly to migrate from one platform to another should you change your mind. And it's always best to weigh these sorts of decisions before you make an investment of your time and your money. Before we get too far in the comparisons between WordPress and website builders in general, we need to go over some basic vocabulary just in case you aren't familiar with either platform. WordPress is a free open source content management system. A content management system is simply software that can be used to manage digital content. WordPress was originally created as a blogging platform, but eventually evolved into much more, and it now powers 40% of the websites that you see online. A website builder like Wix, Shopify, or Squarespace, those are platforms that allow users to construct websites with little to no manual code editing. Website builders typically provide hosting and proprietary tools for users to build websites. Most website builders are not free, but some offer free trials, and the prices of each plan vary depending on the type of website that's being built and other added features that you may add on. Speaking of hosting, a web host is a company that provides space on its servers for customers to make their websites accessible to the internet. A domain name is the address that allows internet users to access a website. So I want you to think of a web host as like an apartment complex and then the domain name as the address for your apartment. Okay, enough geek speak, let's get into it. So I've broken my analysis down into 5 categories that you need to consider when you're picking a platform for your website. Price, ease of use, customization, SEO, and support. So the first one, price. With WordPress, as I mentioned previously, the software is free to download and use. But before you get too excited, there are costs associated with building a site using WordPress. I like to think of it as one of those freemium apps because at its basis, WordPress is free, but you have to pay for things like web hosting, which can range from $3 to $40 per month, depending on whether you have a shared or dedicated hosting plan. Other costs may include themes, which are the templates that provide the styling and the design for the website, and plugins, which are like apps or code that provide additional functionality to the website. WordPress comes with free themes, and there are several companies that offer paid themes as well. Most themes range from free to about a one-time charge of $150. And plugins, those can also be free too, but there are some that cost as much as $250. Some plugins are one-time charge and then others have a monthly fee. Listen, you don't necessarily need the most expensive theme or plugin to have a nice functioning website. You can go low budget and add more features with your website as your business grows and then your needs of functionality increase. Because building on WordPress is very a la carte in several respects, ultimately you can control the cost of building your website on WordPress and stay within a budget that you set up. With website builders, the costs associated with building your website varies depending on the type of website that you're building and the internet traffic that your website will likely bring. Some website builders offer free websites like Wix and Weebly, and others offer free trials like Shopify. Most plans range from as little as $6 to as much as $299 per month. While the cost may deter some of you, remember that with these platforms, you don't have to pay hosting as you would with WordPress. They each have free themes, but they do give you the option to use their paid themes, which can be a little costly depending on what you pick. Another difference to note here is that if you purchase a theme with WordPress, you can reuse that theme on several different websites, while with website builders, you will have to repurchase the same theme for a different website. So that is definitely something to consider if you think you'll need more than one website for your business and you want to use the same theme. Okay, number 2, ease of use. One of the biggest hesitations I get from people who are deciding whether to use a website builder or WordPress for their business website is the issue of ease of use and with that, maintenance. I'll be honest with you, there is a slight learning curve with WordPress that's a little bit higher than the user interfaces of the website builders, and it can seem almost impossible at first glance. But take it from someone who learned from watching YouTube videos, going to WordPress meetups, and attending conventions. WordPress is not that hard to use, I promise. You will need to dedicate some time to read up on the technical terms and maybe watch a few videos on the user interface just to get comfortable with the software, but you will not need to become a coding expert in order to use WordPress. Also, when it comes to maintaining your website, it's not that difficult either. For the most part, you will need to click a few buttons to have your plugins and themes be updated when new updates are released. And your hosting provider, they typically handle updates related to the server and the platform. Again, it is not much of a lift to keep your website maintained once it's built. With website builders, they offer their users a more seamless experience when it comes to building a website. Website builders have built-in templates that allow users to simply drag and drop elements on the page. You will not need to learn or know code in order to access all the features that are offered by website builders. And their user interface is intuitive when it comes to initially setting up your website. They are a one-stop shop for pretty much all of your website needs, and you won't have to do much to get your website live and going. Your monthly fees not only include your hosting, but they typically include all of your maintenance and software updates for your website, so you'll be all set. Okay, number 3, customization. WordPress offers the most flexibility and customization options, whether it's by adding code to a portion of your site or using a plugin to add a new feature. Literally, your imagination is the limit when it comes to customizing your website with WordPress. However, depending on the complexity of your customizations that you want or need, if you are not familiar with reading or writing code, you may need to hire outside help or learn code yourself to achieve your desired look or functionality. WordPress comes with an enormous marketplace of themes and plugins you can choose from, and third-party developers put a lot of resources into their plugins and themes to get WordPress users the look or functionality they want. Believe me, if you can think it, there is a plugin or a theme out there for you. Customization with website builders is possible, but it is limited to the options that the website builder offers. They provide you with templates, defaults, and a select choice of options, but you will not have the full control of the design on those platforms. This means that if you have a very specific look or functionality that you want on your website, if those features are not offered by the website builder, you cannot use code to add them. Now, for some people, having too many choices is a bad thing. And so website builders help with not overwhelming users with making too many decisions when it comes to building a website. I want you to think of it this way. With WordPress, it's like building a house from a basic framework. You get to decide everything from top to bottom, with where everything goes, how it will look and function. It may take a little longer in the beginning, but once it's built, you will have the hang of managing it because you know everything about it. With a website builder, it's more like moving into a pre-made home where you get to pick from a pre-approved list of vendors certain accents, features, or furniture to make the place your own, but you can't bring any features from outside that approved list. All right, guys, number 4, SEO, search engine optimization. SEO, or search engine optimization, is the process of growing the quality and quantity of the visitors to your website by increasing the visibility of your website to users of a web search engine like Google or Bing. So SEO is all about getting organic, meaning unpaid traffic to your website by optimizing the content on your website so that when users do a Google or a Bing search, and let's say they're looking for a florist or a lawyer, your website can be discovered in the search engine results page. I want you guys to think about it. How many times have you typed in the search box on Google how to do something, or what does blank mean? And a list of websites, blogs, or photos popped up in the search engine's results page. What search engines do is crawl websites looking for keywords, phrases, and content relevant to a host of topics. And then it indexes those websites so that when a search is performed, the most relevant results are listed first. Search engines use computer programs or algorithms to find the best results for every search. Your job as a website owner is to optimize your website in such a way that search engines see your website as the most relevant authority on a particular topic or search query. Okay, now that you know what SEO is, you probably see that it is a very important element in building a website. You can have the most user-friendly, beautiful, and functioning website with all the most relevant information on a particular subject, but if people don't know your website exists, it means absolutely nothing. I'll do a separate video on basic SEO for new business websites soon, and I'll go into more detail on the elements of SEO that you need to make sure you have on your website. So let's get back to our comparisons. When building a website, SEO and WordPress play very well together because WordPress allows very detailed website customization. The best SEO plugin on WordPress is Yoast, and it's absolutely free. They do offer a paid version of the plugin, which is not necessary unless you want additional support options when it comes to SEO, but you don't need it. With WordPress, you have complete control over every aspect of your website's SEO efforts, including URL slugs, meta descriptions, and alt tags, without adding any additional unwanted information. Okay, I know again, I just used some very technical language that you may not be familiar with, but know that these things are very important components to optimizing your website for search engines, and the more control you have, the better. Website builders have gotten better over time with allowing more customization, but it's still limited and lacks a lot of the features that you can get from WordPress. Several website builders do have a SEO wizard option that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, but you will still need to do your own SEO work. Also, some website builders take a lot longer to get websites on their platforms indexed on Google because they have all these internal coding that's used to optimize your website, and sometimes it doesn't speak well with Google's language. Additionally, some website builders do not use the most modern site architecture, which can make improving your website's SEO a lot more difficult. Even though website builders make it much easier for those of you who are not familiar with website creation to get basic SEO going on your website, If there was any reason why I stay away from website builders, it would be because of their inferior SEO capabilities. All right, guys, number 5, support. So what happens when things go wrong on your website or you get stuck and don't know what to do next? With WordPress, there is support, but it is not in the way that you may need if you are completely unfamiliar with coding or website design or all that stuff. WordPress relies very heavily on its active community forums to answer most support questions, and this may not always be helpful at 2 o'clock in the morning when your website crashes. Now, most of the paid plugins and themes with WordPress, they include some level of support for those themes and plugins, and several web hosts offer support for situations that may arise as well. But ultimately, it's going to be more of a DIY, figure it out, do some searches on Google, and probably watching a few YouTube tutorials. When it comes to support, website builders offer much more direct support to its customers. Now, the level of support can be contingent upon the level of the plan that you subscribe to, but no matter what, they do offer support for all of their plans across the board. Just remember, the higher the level, the better and the quicker the support. Most of the website builders have either live chat or email support, and a few even have phone support. Website builders are definitely better when it comes to support for new content creators and website creators. They really do a great job. As you've probably guessed by now, I am a big fan of WordPress, and I build all of my clients' websites and my own website with WordPress. For me, it's all about costs, customization, and SEO. But don't let my personal bias push you one way or another. I am completely aware that just starting out, WordPress may not be the best for you. You're trying to run a business, not become a website designer. WordPress is a good option for people who just want to get a website live and on a small budget, but cost may not be the major factor for you. Now, don't misunderstand. I do believe that website builders are great for some businesses, particularly those of you who don't want to spend a great deal of time building or maintaining a website. Website builders are great. They can get you up, they can get you running in just a few clicks, and that alone is a huge value. The websites built on these platforms are very pretty, they are intuitive, and for the most part, they will get the job you need done correctly. My goal here is to just give you more information about the key differences between WordPress and website builders in general, but you have to do your own research to determine which will work best for you at this time. If you don't have the extra time to understand and learn WordPress, WordPress may not be the best option for you. And if you don't have a budget to hire a developer, go with a website builder. One other thing I want to mention is that, at least for me, one of the biggest downsides when it comes to using a website builder is the difficulty in moving your website to another platform. Whether it's WordPress or a different website builder, it's very difficult. Most website builders, they use proprietary codes that make it almost impossible to transfer your site to another platform. And I'm not saying that it can't be done, but it will cost you, and you will definitely need technical help to get it done right. With WordPress, you can move your website from host to host with no issue. This is just something to consider if you think at any point you may want to move your website from where you built it to a different platform. You may be asking, why is it important to even weigh the difference between WordPress or a website builder? Shouldn't I just go with whatever is cheaper or quickest? I definitely think that is a bad approach when you are going to build your website for your business. I consider websites to be an employee of the business, and making a decision about the quality and the style of the most customer-facing part of your business is no small task. Even when you close down for the day, your website is still there to greet customers, and you want to build it on a platform that not only functions properly, but that the website is appealing. Customers will judge you and your business by what they see on your website, and they will decide whether or not they want to do business with you based on what they see. As you grow your business, you want to ensure that your website is able to adapt to that growth. Okay guys, so let's recap. WordPress is a free open source content management system that powers almost 40% of the websites that you see on the internet. Starting out, it is on the lower cost side of the spectrum, it's highly customizable, and it gives the most flexibility for SEO. However, it is not the easiest software to use for the uninitiated, and support is very limited depending on the issues you experience with your website. Website builders like Wix, Shopify, or Squarespace allow users to construct websites with little to no manual code editing. And typically, they provide hosting and proprietary tools for users to build their websites. The costs vary depending on the platform, and customizing the design and function of your website is limited to the parameters set by the platform, but they offer the best support when things go wrong with your website. They also all offer SEO tools, but like I said before, there is room for improvement when it comes to SEO. Alright guys, so your action steps are to review the pros and cons that I mentioned for both platforms and decide what factors are most important to you. If you've got any factors that you think I missed, please share those in the comments because I'd love to hear what you guys think is most important factors when you're building your websites. I also want you guys to do research on the different platforms to see what each platform offers and the types of websites that they specialize in. And when you're ready, just go ahead, make a decision and get your website online. I hope you guys are finding these videos helpful and enjoyable as you continue to navigate the process of becoming an entrepreneur. I am right here with you. I am rooting for you. I am going through the same process of transitioning from full-time employee to full-time entrepreneur. If you have any questions or thoughts about this video or videos that you'd like to see in the future, please leave me a message in the comment box. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, be sure to check out my blog post on this topic on my website at jwmdesigns.com, and you'll get more in-depth information that I just couldn't cover in this video. In my blog post, I always add just a few more links and information to help you guys get to the answers that you need, so I really recommend you taking a look at it. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and my handles to all of those sites are listed in the description box below. Also, don't forget to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to get alerts when I post new content. I plan to continue posting videos on business basics, as well as a few more specific topics that cover the practical aspects of starting your business or running a website. My goal is to just give you guys different tools that you can add to your arsenal of knowledge and resources to help you grow your business and make the life that you want. I am all about you guys building your legacies. Together, we are legacy builders. So let's build together.